Hey, beautiful people. It is a brand new day, and I am here with the phenomenal Renee Terrell at Renee Motivates. Good evening, Renee. How are you doing?
I am doing great, Jelly. Thank you so much for having me here with you today. I'm
I'm
excited.
I'm excited that you were able to come on. I know you've been super busy and blowing up LinkedIn and doing all the wonderful things that you do. And how is everything going in Atlanta?
Everything in Atlanta is good. It is exciting. It's lively, it's fun, and it's just exciting to be a part of so many people's stories and journeys as they bring their business to the marketplace. So for
Yes,
me, good.
I love that you said that because for those who may not be one familiar with Fabulous You and all the fabulous things that you do, but also just the thing of being a marketing strategist, for those who might not be familiar with that and understand why they need you. Friendly FYI, you need Renee. If you are in business, in any form of business, you need Renee. Renee, what is it exactly that can you put it in layman terms exactly what you do and why we need you?
Okay. Well, the world needs each of us, each and
Yeah.
every one of us, and that's why they need me because I help the world see them, right? But really, what I do is I help business owners, service providers, and established authors monetize their message, expand their digital presence, and attract their ideal clients with ease. And what that means is I provide my clients with practical, proven strategies. I help you look at the resources, the things that you already have in your hand, in your reach, that you can actually use to expand your business or your service, or even tell people about your book and what it is that you do. And it's a passion for me because just like I said in the beginning, everyone has a responsibility to place their stamp on the world. And if you don't do it, no one else will. And that's the model for our company, Concept Marketing Firm, is helping you place your stamp on the world. It's something that's unique just to you that no one else that is will ever walk the earth can do what you do. And so
Wow.
therefore, you have a responsibility to share that. And what I do as a marketing and brand strategist is I help you do that.
Wow. That sounds major when you say it like that. It sounds so it sounds so major. I feel like I should have Beyonce I Am Here playing in the background while you said that. Like that that was
But it's true. I mean, I love that song. I've used that song in some of my presentations, but it just embodies what it really is, though. Like everybody has something to offer, whatever it is. You might be a singer, you might work well with kids, you might be good in business, or an artist, a creator, whatever. It's necessary for now, right? There's somebody that needs it. I always say there's 7.5 billion people in the world. It's actually over, right? So you need billions for the billions. It takes more than one company, one organization, one whatever to service the billions of people. And that's why you have multiple. Think about even just social media platforms. You have several social media platforms. They all do different things. Some of the things mirror each other, but some of the things they've kind of carved out their niche to be. And even though they all kind of similarly operate, they're all necessary depending on what your strategy is, what your business is, and what your objectives and goals
wow. Okay, so Mobita says, okay, sign me up for some stamps.
are. I got you. I got you.
And then Steve says, tell us the cost. So that's what I'm saying. This seems kind of huge. Like, say if you're a small business owner, like, I mean, what is this something cost effective or should we wait until we like blow up to do?
First of all, it's what can you afford not to pay? Like, can you afford
Ooh,
not to have a marketing strategy? Can you afford not to have things in place, right? And the cost is dependent on your needs, right? So you might be a company or organization that just needs a plan because you're going to, let's say you're an established author and you just want a plan to launch your book. You already have a business, you already have other things going on. You just need to say, hey, this is my new book. I want to be able to put this out there and reach this target audience. these specific people, and so I need a plan or something to do that. So that's what we do. But then maybe you're a person who is trying to expand your digital presence, and you need to understand, well, how do I get from point A to Z? I want to reach these people. These are the kind of goals I'm trying to have. So then that turns into something else. So it really is specific to your needs. I work with clients from nonprofit organizations to small businesses to, like I said, established authors to ministries. All my clients, they have different needs, and based on what they need is determines the cost and what they need for me to do.
Wow. So Teresa, it's funny, Teresa, she literally just said that just as you popped in. She said, have you worked with nonprofit organizations? So if you're working with nonprofit organizations, I mean, how, in what way do you help them?
Okay, definitely. So I have several nonprofit organizations that I've worked with and continue to work with, and I help them in different ways. Some of them, a lot of times, people don't have. Not only do they not have a strategy, they're not very clear on their target. Who do you serve? Your product or your service, it serves somebody. So knowing specifically who you serve will help be able to move forward in terms of how do we go forward in terms of our marketing and our strategy. So one of my clients, they have a program for public speaking for children, right? But they serve the parents and other educational organizations, be it profit or nonprofit, who help children in their specific target area. So, therefore, the conversation that we give in our marketing has to be to what it is that the parents would want to hear or want to know, and what it is that the educators or the organizations would need to know. How do you take your program and what you do? How easy is it to bring it to our organization? Would it disrupt the way that we flow, the way that we do services? How could we merge together and work together? And we're both nonprofit, right? So that's important to know. Okay, what do I do with that? Another organization I work with, they were just only focused on young girls. And so it was about girl empowerment, strengthening them and encouraging them. So our strategy for how we were reaching out was for sponsorship. So then the conversation that we had was different, because now we're talking about we want sponsorship, or we have these programs. How do we keep people abreast of the information in terms of what we have going on, how the girls are doing, different things like that. So it just depends on what your organization is, and then that determines what our strategy will be. And that works for both profit and nonprofit organizations.
Wow. Okay. So what is the most satisfying? We just want to know, what is the most satisfying part of what you do?
Oh, I love that question. I love it. Thank you for that question. For me, it is the opportunity to help multitudes of people by just helping one. So I help
Ooh.
business owners, executives, executive directors for nonprofit organizations. I help them take their focus, because the work that they do is so important to change the lives of these children or change the lives of these women. So I get to work with that leader who's making decisions on how can we best spread out our resources to make the impact for which we were created to do, right? Why we even started this nonprofit. And for me, it's so rewarding to see that on the other side, to hear the testimonials because of the people that they were able to impact, that they were able to reach, to hear my clients call me on the phone. And one client said, my mother in law now understands what we do as a nonprofit, and she didn't get it before. But now that we started working with you, she understands this is what we do, and this is why it's so important to really expand our vision. And now that same mother-in-law wants to help with the next program, with their next thing that they're going to do, because they understand. And for me, that's the most rewarding thing, that by me just helping this one person, by me just helping this leadership team really craft their messaging, craft their strategy, and helping them think through some of the things that they're doing to make sure that they're being effective, and helping them also to save money, because a lot of times we all, like, just business owners, when I started, just spending money. Oh, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. And they're like, oh my God, this costs this, so I got to do all this so I can pay for this. When really I had a lot of the resources already, and I didn't even know it. I have a podcast called Captured by Light, and one of the things is I got this system, this Pro Tools. I got Pro Tools, right? This
Mm-hmm.
super, you need to be a music industry is not. I mean, it's just, you never know it all, right? And it was so confusing and convoluted and just hard. And I didn't need all of that, right? Because I
Mm.
wasn't just talking. I just had a microphone and I was just talking and I just needed it to sound clear. That was my
Yes.
goal. Just be clear. Okay. And then it wasn't until I was just searching and just a lot of trial and error, lots of hours of trying to understand it and everything like that. And I found that I had a program already on my computer. And all I had to do was press the record button, and it was so much simpler to navigate because I was already familiar with that whole program suite. So it was like I had the resource, but I spent the money because I didn't know. And so that's what I do. I help my clients see the resources that they already have. I help them avoid spending unnecessary money when it's not needed. And I really help
That's a
them,
good one.
most importantly, craft the messaging. It's what you say so that you can speak to the right people so that they know, hey, I'm here to help. My product is here
Wow.
to help, my service, whatever.
So you want see wants to know, how successful would you say your business is?
Well, it determines on how you say what is success, because success is a journey, it's not a destination. But if you ask me how successful is my business, I can tell you that I have multiple clients. I can tell you that I get actually new clients every day, and some of them I have to turn away because it's just too much, right? I can tell you that anybody you talk to that's on my client list will say that they enjoy working with me and that they can see the growth and the impact, not only in their business, but also in their revenues, in their bottom line.
Wow.
And that's how you know you make the difference. It goes back to when I have if you go on any of my social media, you'll see lots of my videos. And one of the videos I talk about is don't worry about the numbers, right? So it's the right numbers that matter. I tell them, don't worry if you get one like or maybe one person is watching your live or whatever like that. Don't get caught up in that. Because if those people who watch it, most people watch lives and videos and stuff on the replay anyway, when it's convenient for them. But how many times have you scrolled through social media and liked a post, thought it was funny or anything like that, and just never hit the like button? I mean, how many times? How many times do you enjoy people's content and you may or may not follow them? Depending on what your public persona is, depending on who you are, there may be accounts that you can't publicly follow, right?
It's
but
true.
you
It's true.
but you still will search them. You go to the search and you'll be able to find them and live your life, right? So you can't get caught up in that because that's not a really true metric of whether or not you're successful. The real true test is it hitting your bottom line? Because see, for some clients, thanks, Steve, it is successful. But for some clients, the bottom line is okay, is your revenue, right? That's one of the bottom lines. But for another one, it might be visibility. So think about if you want to go to a restaurant, right? Or you're thinking about doing some event. You're looking online to see if you see other pictures from the past events so you can kind of get a feel of the atmosphere, who they are, what it's like. You're looking for videos to see what is it, how is that something I would enjoy or something like that. If it's something that's going to cost a considerable amount of money, you're going to be looking to see, is this a legit situation? Like, am I giving my money to something that's going to be here in 6 months or here in 3 months? Or is this just somebody's, dream that they put on? They got great, graphic design, but I won't hear from them after that. So all of those things are important. So when you're looking at what is my bottom line, are you getting more phone calls or inquiries about what it is that you do? Are people coming to you with more educated questions about the product or service that you offer? Because that tells how well you're sharing what you do. So if everybody is totally confused and it's just always confusion when they're asking you questions or you keep getting the same question, then that's an area where you need to make sure that your messaging, your marketing is really clear so that therefore that will be answered, because you want to make it very easy for your client to make a decision to say yes.
How long have we been doing this?
Okay, so I have been doing this well over a decade. I've always helped small businesses. I started out with back when it was HTML websites, building people websites. When CDs were the thing, I used to do for people electronic business cards, and what they were like mini CD discs, and it had the design, the business card information on it. But then people could put it into their CDs, and it would play an electronic presentation of their business and who they are and what they do, right? And then that's just progressed as time has progressed and things have progressed. Then my business has evolved, and it's ultimately always been consulting, strategy. How do we get to point A to point B? And how do we do it in the most efficient way? With the most resources that we already have. So when we're investing our money into something, it's something we really need, and we can see that we're gonna get this much in return as a result of it. So if we're gonna spend this money, we're expecting this in return as a result of it, and it's targeted to where we're spending it and why we're spending it.
Wow. Do most businesses understand the value of marketing from Mobita?
That's a good question, and I don't think that they do. A lot of people say, "Well, it's just social media, and I like to post, and so, or my teenager, they'll just post for me because they know how to work all this technology stuff, and that's great. They're just posting random things, you know." In the beginning of social media, people used to post quotes, all these different kind of quotes, and people like them for the quotes, and that's it, right? And I always like to tell this story. It was a social media influencer. He had over 2 million followers, and he said with all those followers, he had all those followers, and yet he could barely pay his rent. He was not making any money. And he realized that what he was doing wasn't yielding the results that would give him money. So he had to switch his marketing. He had to change up what he was doing. So you can have a lot of people following you. Okay, you can have a lot of people liking your stuff, and you can build a platform on one way, right? Let's say you always are posting about food, different things that you cook, but then you decide, hey, now today I'm going to be a singer. So now you're posting on, you're singing and everything like that. Well, you might have amassed, let's say, 1,000 followers because you were cooking. Now all of us, and so they were always liking your stuff. Now you're singing and you're only getting 1 or 2 likes. Well, that's not why they joined your page. That's not what brought them there. So therefore, the people who were interested in that are no longer interested in that. And the ones now, you have to build a whole new audience who are interested in singing. And that's what marketing is about, being very specific and targeted and intentional about what you're posting, what information you're sharing, what your messaging is, so that whoever your customer is, they can see clearly, I need you. And this is why. So
Wow.
that's where companies go wrong.
That's pretty cool. He also wants to know, do you ever have to turn down a client based on what they were trying to promote?
Um, that is not based on what they were trying to promote. It's more about, am I the best person for what it is that you do? Because
Okay.
I might not be the expert for that industry, or I might not have the strategy depending on what that kind of industry is. So it's more about, am I the best person for what you were trying to do? There have been clients who, you know what, you're going to need a lot more time and a lot more resources, in terms of, you need more than just a marketing strategist. You need a whole department, right? Or you need an administrative assistant. You need a virtual assistant. You need a web designer, right? So it's clarifying the needs of what people need, and then showing them where they can go, because maybe I can just help with a portion of what it is their need. And that's why the price is just dependent on what is your need.
Okay. Steve says the fact that you are so informed and have the know-how speaks volume.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you, Steve.
Wait, whoops. Louisa says, are people always asking you for free advice?
People are always having conversations with me, but I don't lose anything. I believe in this quote. It says, you reap what you sow, more than you sow, and later than you sow. Right. So as long as I'm always giving and putting out there, it's going to come back to me. It may not come back from that person or from that situation, but it'll come back to me in the way. So that's why I just give it out. I mean, at the end of the day, it takes more than just 1 or 2 conversations. You have to weigh your opportunity costs, especially as a business owner. You've got to decide, yes, I may have the know-how to do this, but is this the best use of my time? One of the things I ask my clients is, what are the things in your business, in your organization, that only you can do? And they tell me. Now, those are the most top priority, important things for you to do. Now, else do you have that you could potentially delegate, or someone else could do? Because if I am worth, let's say, um, $500 an hour, right? $500 an hour. And I am the CEO of this company. Okay.
Okay.
And I can make a PowerPoint presentation. I can also create the newsletter for the company. I can answer the phone. Okay.
Yeah.
And I can meet with the client to discuss how we can potentially help them moving forward. Right. But if the company is paying me $500 an hour, is it the best use of my time to be answering the phone or creating a newsletter?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So companies and organizational leaders, you got to think about, what is the opportunity cost? What am I giving up to get this? So yes, you might be capable, but is that really the best use of your resources, the best use of your time, if you have options to do something different? And that's where a lot of times, especially small business owners, they get stuck in, right? If somebody can tell you, you go from A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, this is all the paperwork to do it, these are all the templates, this is how you get there, how much time does that save, right? And
Yes.
so if that saves time searching and researching and trying to figure all that out, how much more farther are you ahead of the game than the people who have to just figure out step one, step two, step three, step four, step five? And then think about the people who just get in their own way. I mean, I'm sure we all know somebody who has sat and thought about something and thought about something, and every time they working on it, it's the big idea. It's coming to pass. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And
Yes.
then you see them again. It hasn't happened. They haven't even started. They're still thinking about it. They're still working on it. They're still trying to get it together. And so they get discouraged before they even launch.
So what about the people who, like I know earlier you said you work with authors. Like there
Mm-hmm,
are some people who have written amazing books that are just sitting in Amazon.
mm-hmm,
Like, I mean, no tea, no shade to, sitting in Amazon, but I'm
mm-hmm,
saying like how do, like, say I'm an author and I
mm-hmm,
release a book.
mm-hmm,
I may not be an extrovert. I
mm-hmm.
mean, what could someone like you do for me?
Okay, great question. So there's a couple preliminary questions I would ask before we got to the ending part of the Amazon. First of all, I would like to say, every time Amazon shows up on my door, it is Christmas. Okay, so I just want to put that in there for everybody to understand. Amazon is the word of the Lord. Okay. Anyway, so what's important though? So when we're thinking about that, the first couple questions I would ask is, okay, is your purpose to be an author, or is your purpose to be a speaker? Does it feed into something else that you do? Do you have a program or a service or something else you offer? You
Just want to
offer
sell books. Just want to sell my
just
book.
just selling books to be an author only. Okay. All right. So then, do you want to be on platforms and panels as this author?
They just want to make money. Sell my books.
Okay. But you don't ever want to speak.
Introvert. I don't want to sit on a panel and talk.
Okay. Okay. So then it is okay. One more question: is the book true or false? Like, is it real? Is it
Fiction.
or fiction's made up? Okay. All right. So it's dreamland, dream world, that kind of stuff. Correct. Okay. Those are very important questions because that tells the next step. Okay. So in that means that your messaging on the platforms that you are promoting the book have to include the story, pieces from the story. Think of like breadcrumbs. You want to drop enough information for them to want more. Not enough to make them full, but just enough to like whet their appetite to say, this was so good, I want more. Think of when you're walking through the mall and you go through the food court and everybody trying to give you something on a toothpick, right? Taste it, taste it, taste it. Because if you taste it, you're going to want more. So that's the same way you have to think about it when it comes to books. Now, making money, yes, you have it on Amazon, but you also want to have it on your own website. Why? Because Amazon going to take most of your money when you get through with the fees and shipping and all that kind of stuff like that. They're going to take most of it. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're directing people to the website. The website should have additional things to keep them engaged. Maybe you build a community around the book of people who, let's say the book is about people who love cats and they like to dress them up. So then you create the fur babies community, okay, where everybody gets to post the different style cats. Okay, maybe once a month you do a preview or you give like some creative challenge around the book that comes from the book. So now the community is engaged because it's about people being excited about what it is that you're offering. And then you have to have another book. So if books is the way, then you got to have another book. You don't want to just have one thing and that's it. You always want to have, you want to keep offering things to people. You want to keep, because you have more and more to share, more and more to give people, and it's more and more in you to give. So that's where you, that's how you move from that. But it's your messaging to tell them why it's important for me to read this book. So when you pull excerpts from the book, get to the a good juicy part and then cut it off right before the real thing happens, right? Where they gotta read the book, or let the pages be so spicy that I have to understand what's happening, have testimonials and post those of people who read the book and was like, I sat down, I just was going to read it for about 10 minutes and ended up staying up all night because I read the book. It was just so good. Page turner, could not put it down. Those are the things that help people know, like, you know what? I need to read that book. A good example of that is the patty pies. When the influencer
Ah,
said, "Oh, this pie's so good," and his whole video went viral, and everybody went to go try the pie. Because it was his reaction was so authentic, it was so real. And then somebody else tried it and said it was good. Then somebody else tried it and said it was good. And then it was a thing. I gotta try the pie. Gotta try the pie. Whether you like it or not, it was I gotta try it. Right? Okay. They didn't start coming out with different size pies and different pies until everybody was hooked on the main pie. Right? Because now I've built loyalty in this one thing. So when I come out with something else, I've built a level of expectation that now the next person wants it and the next person wants it. But that also is important for you as a business owner or a nonprofit. If you do a program, if you offer a service, if it's one level of quality and execution, you have to make sure you maintain that each and every time, because that's what your customers or your clients are coming back for. I got this level of service, this level of quality. I want to do it again.
Teresa said yes. I fell for it and bought that patty pie.
I mean, we
Um,
all bought the pie.
Steve said that he has a rhetorical question for you.
Okay.
Um, how do you go about advertising my new website, which you would have created for me?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't create websites, but okay. That was back in the day. Okay, the website game is hard and and just it's a lot involved in that. But anyway, okay. But how would you advertise it? Okay, can you tell me what is the purpose of the website? Like, what are you selling?
Steve, you want to elaborate?
Okay, it may not be something we
This
want
is
to
the
post.
question
Okay,
for a question. I mean, you need
okay.
a question. He's like, answer the question.
Okay, fine. All right. So how would you advertise the website? So it would depend on what was the purpose of the website. Okay. So if the purpose of the website
He
is so
said
that people can buy,
advertising his services.
okay. All right. So the way that you advertise some version of a service or whatever it is that you're offering is that people have to, okay, let me just say it this way. People are engaged in the brand ambassador more so than what it is that they're offering. So if you're offering a service or a product, people want to know that you know what you're talking about and you know what you're doing. Okay. Then they need to feel you out and see, would I want to work with this person? Is this somebody that I like? Does their voice get on my nerves? Right. Okay. Okay. And then they want to say, okay, what are their services? What is the cost? Am I willing to pay that? So on and so forth. So you would advertise that several different ways. If you have social media, definitely on social media, and you'd want to present yourself in a way that shows that you're knowledgeable about whatever service you offer, whatever product you offer. So that way people can see, okay, this person is known for this, and this is what they do. And you want to look at your public persona wherever you show up to make sure that it matches and aligns with whatever your business or your service or something is. And so, like, kind of going back to when I talked about plates of food and things like that, right? You have to decide. A lot of times I look at my clients and their pages is full of personal stuff and then business stuff, and then you see their kids, and it's like, so it's like I don't know what this is. I don't know what to get from this person. I don't know if this is if this is for me, or if they're just, this is just their free whatever. But all of that tells a story. And that is how a person makes a decision, just like you, if whether or not they want to work with you.
Bethany wants to know, can you share one of your best success stories that you delivered for your clients?
Oh, I have several, but I'll give you one. One of my clients is deals in the real estate industry, and deals with mortgages and things of that nature. And after working with me, their company started following them, started following how they do their marketing, how they present. They won Employee of the Year.
Wow.
And they kept being recognized and highlighted. They had one of the best years they've ever had when it came to their business and what it is that they do. And that's just a result of people even calling them from years ago, decades ago, just, hey, can you do this? Can you tell me about this? Can you tell me about that, as it relates to their business? And that was because of the marketing, because of their messaging, because of clarifying what it is that they do. I have another client who they weren't even getting sales through their website, you know, and they were so excited when they started getting sales to their website. Some of them they didn't even know. They didn't even know that some of the sites, like, people had purchased things on their site, because it was just such a shocker that this was happening, that wow, somebody just can see this, tap on this, make a decision and purchase, all because of the marketing, all because of what they see.
That's amazing. So congratulations to you and your client
Oh,
on that. I mean, that is
thank you.
definitely something, to celebrate. Like, I
I
am
like the
loving that.
confetti. Yay.
Yes, girl. We had to say yes. I mean, that that was exciting. You had to celebrate that for us. Had to celebrate that. And
Yeah.
so, okay, I have to ask you something non-related, because at the end of the day, it's very first of all, who and what inspires you?
Okay. So I'm really inspired by just people sharing what's in them. You know, I was a person for a long time who just hid behind other people. You know, I'd push everybody else for it. You can do it. I can help you get there. You know, you do it. You do it. And it was because I didn't have the confidence to just step out there and do it myself, right? And so when I made that transformation to really be like, no, 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 I've got to come out here and do this, it inspired me to say, you know what? I want to help other people do it. And that's what gets me so excited. When I see somebody have a breakthrough and recognize that all you have to do is press the record button. When I'm able to help my clients get headshots and get new photos and see themselves differently, when they're able to see the success in their business because they used to think that nobody wanted what it was that they had to offer. And then they realize that, you know what? It's not that. They just didn't know what I offered and what I do. And I really, really specialize in working with people who know that they need, like, digital, they know they need to be on the internet, they know they need digital presence, they just don't know how, and they're just extremely frustrated or overwhelmed with technology. Those are the clients that I love to see just come alive when they see that, wow, you had something. And it inspires me to be able to encourage them to say, no, 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 your voice matters. Your service matters. The wisdom that you have from decades of experience, and now you decided to jump out on your own to be an entrepreneur, that matters. And let me help you share that with the world so that they can have what they need to do life well and do life better.
That's awesome. So if you could be any animal, what would you be and why?
Um, I would probably be an eagle,
Okay.
because because the eagle is just, you get to see the world from different angles. You got the strength and the power, and even from far away you may seem non-threatening, but when you are face to face, it's not a game. It's not a game. So I think I would love to be an eagle, just because I could see, and then I would have such a broad view and be able to see everything. So yeah, that's what
That
I
is
would.
awesome. That is awesome. Definitely shows your ambition. And then, of course, we like to get to know people on a personal level. Oh wait, Steve has a question. Before Steve does his questions, I want to know how you prefer your eggs.
Scrambled.
Would that be scrambled
No
hard,
cheese.
scrambled
No
soft? Okay.
cheese. Scrambled soft, no cheese. Okay. A little salt and pepper, and let's move on. I love that question.
That's just something people don't even think about. Like, how you take your eggs? Steve wants to know, do you offer training for persons to develop like his social media personality? Okay, I guess he's feeling your vibes.
Yeah,
Renee
yeah,
is a
yeah, yeah.
whole
Just
vibe. Yes.
that's good. That's good. Well, Steve is a whole vibe in his photo. Okay. He's like, look, I'm chilling mellow. Let me let him know. Okay. Yes, Steve, I do that. That's what I do. I help people with their brand and putting that out there on social media. So just reach out, concept marketing firm, or you can shoot a DM, whatever. I'll catch it.
He's gonna say either you rubbed off on Jelly or Jelly rubbed off on you. I don't know what that means, Steve.
I'm sure Jelly rubbed off on me, Steve.
Hopefully it's a good thing. I don't know what I don't know what he's trying to say. Hey, I'm a vibe too, Steve. While you playing, he gonna
A
say
whole
shaking his head.
vibe.
That is comedy. Well, friends, loved ones, we have definitely come to the end. I definitely want to encourage you to reach out, follow at Renee Motivates on all social media platforms, and then also check her out on her website, conceptmarketingfirm.com. Check her out, see how she can connect, how you can connect with her, and to get you where you need to be. I mean, it's not by accident that you're on this, that you got to hear from Renee today. I definitely feel like she could definitely make a difference in your business, whether you're, no matter what level of business that you're in. Oh, we says thank you for coming on tonight.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was fun. I loved
It
it.
was fun. Okay, friends. And so I do hope that you have a safe wait. Oh goodness. Let me remove that. Holiday weekend so you can see my little turkey. Have a safe holiday weekend.
Turkey.
Know that you've mattered. You've always mattered. And we'll be bringing another phenomenal woman. Same time, same place next Tuesday. Have a great rest of your week. Renee, thank you so much for being here and
Thank
dropping
you
those
for having
all these
me.
nuggets on us. So Renee Motivates. That's Renee Motivates. Make sure you follow her on social platforms and get your life. Let Renee help you get your life. You'll be so glad you did. All right, everybody, have a great one. Renee, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
And
you,
we'll see you all
Jelly.
soon. Have a good night.
Night.